Simply put, just want to impart a little bit of wisdom on you guys today. Yo, go ahead on and like, share, subscribe to my channel. Leave in the comments in the comment section below. Your comments will be greatly appreciated. Today, I want to talk about this situation going on with the WNBA. Recently, WNBA had their All-Star game. I saw kind of a post about Caitlin Clark being hurt and she wasn't going to make the All-Star game. That was really the only reason that I knew that this past weekend was the All-Star game for the WNBA. And during the All-Star game, the women, they kind of did a little bit of a protest. They came out with these shirts that says, "Pay us what you owe us."
So WNBA players were wearing a t-shirt that reads, "Pay us what you owe us." Okay, let's do the math. So the WNBA lost $40 million in 2024 and is projected to lose the same in 2025. The NBA subsidizes $15 million of this loss annually. So after the subsidy is paid out, that's still $25 million in losses. You have 144 players in the WNBA. That means it's $173,611 per player. The average salary of WNBA players is $147,745, way too much. Meaning you'd have to take a full pay cut to reduce down the $173,000 in debt that all of you owe, and then you would have to pay out $28,836 just to play in the WNBA to be at break even. Nobody owes you anything, but actually all of you owe $28,836. That is so tough.
It's kind of ironic that these women would come out and pretty much demand more money. But from the perspective of just a regular person, you have to be a profitable organization if you are going to demand money, if you're going to demand, and they were talking about they're going to go on strike, but they do not make a profit. We've heard this for years, the women saying that they deserve more and they should be getting paid like the men, but the real issue is you're not making profit. For you to come out and for you to say that they owe you something is very disingenuous. It's not palatable. It's not a good look.
What do you mean by what you owe us?
The players are what is building this brand and this league. There is no league without the players, and the past, present, the ones coming out, they're the ones that have put in the blood, sweat, and tears for the new money that's coming in. And so we feel like we are owed a piece of that pie that we helped to create. So that's basically what that is.
We get a very tiny percentage of all the money that's made through the WNBA, which obviously is through our entertainment, the entertainment we provide. And so we want a fair and reasonable percentage of that.
You had Caitlin Clark and the other WNBA stars, they're out there. And Caitlin Clark was going along and she had a shirt on as well. And as far as Caitlin Clark is concerned, she's making money. She makes money off deals. She doesn't make that much money as far as her contract for the WNBA, but she makes money from her shoe deals and clothing deals and stuff like that.
And some players like Caitlin Clark are actually doing well. She made around $11 million in 2024 thanks to sponsorships because she's actually a brand and people want to watch her. But most of them, they aren't drawing fans or making money. And I wonder why that is.
But it's kind of ironic that she's out there and she's pretty much just going along because the other women wanted to go along. But those are the same women who bully her.
Well, it was a very powerful moment. The t-shirt, just united front, was determined this morning that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just, we had a very...
that really needed to be mentioned.
I'm trying to make a situation light, okay? But yeah, no, I think it was just all of us getting on the same page for the game. We wanted to do something that was just united and collective, and I thought that it was a very powerful moment and got the point across, and sometimes you don't have to say anything.
The WNBA has kind of been in a bind from the beginning. Now, one thing I do want to say, if you think about the NBA and think about back in the 50s and 60s, those men were not making a lot of money. It took time for the NBA to get up to the point to where they are today. There are men who played in the NBA and they actually work regular jobs, and it's a process, you know. And then in the 70s and the 80s, and then when Magic Johnson and Larry Bird came along, you had two guys who were kind of the face of the league. You had Larry Bird, who was a very skillful Caucasian man. He really wasn't good on the mic, but people kind of gravitated towards him, and he actually sold tickets. Then you had Magic Johnson, who was pleasing to watch. He had a style that was pleasing to watch. And when he had the microphone in his hand, he was a good talker. He's a well-spoken. He's kind of infectious. He makes people excited, you know, just by talking. So you had those two guys who came along and they built up the league. And then when you had Michael Jordan come along, he kind of changed the game with contracts and doing other things and making money, you know, overseas and shoe deals and stuff like that. And those guys built up the league to where the guys nowadays, these guys nowadays are making $1 million contracts because of the guys of the past. And the WNBA is really kind of in the beginning forms of what they could be. The WNBA could be profitable, but as far as business, they're not running their business like a business. When the WNBA first came along, it was a good idea, and the people were trying to market women. They were trying to market pretty women playing basketball. That's kind of the gist of it. And they had a couple women, Cheryl Swoops, they had Rebecca Lobo, they had Lisa Leslie. You know, they had those pioneer women. They tried to market the prettier women, you know, pretty women playing basketball. And the WNBA, the other women, they did not like it. They didn't like it. They were talking about it's not fair to the other women. If you watch the WNBA, the WNBA Dream Team, if you watch that series on Netflix, they were talking about that. They were trying to market the prettier women, and the other women in the WNBA were getting upset, and they didn't want them to market it like that. So what it really did was it kind of took away like the male fans coming to see, you know, pretty women playing basketball. And they really didn't like that. Look at the NBA. Women will go to the NBA. A lot of women don't care about basketball. They want to go see tall men, tall, rich men, athletic men dunking. They're going to see the game. A lot of times women don't understand about the game. They know shooting three, they know dunking, but they don't understand about basketball. They're going to look at men in shorts running up and down the court. And the NBA as an organization does not care that these women are going to see these men because they're attracted to these men. Tall men who are millionaires running up and down the court sweating. The NBA as an organization does not care. As long as they're paying for their tickets or they're getting somebody to pay for their tickets, they don't care. But what happened with the WNBA, they kind of alienated straight men who wanted to come see pretty women play basketball. And then they start pushing the LGBTQ stuff. And that's really what deterred straight men from buying tickets and going to the game. They start embracing LGBTQ community, LGBTQ culture. They start promoting that stuff, and it alienated the straight men from supporting and this and that. And those women really weren't supporting WNBA like that. Regular heterosexual women, they want to watch the NBA players. If you go out now and you have a WNBA tickets and NBA tickets, everybody's going to choose the NBA tickets. So for them to come out and be like, you owe us this, you're not making a profit. You're not making the profits. And that's really what happened with the WNBA. Now you have Caitlin Clark and to an extent, Angel Reese. She has eyes on her because she's a heterosexual woman. Let it be known that she likes men and she has eyes on her. Caitlin Clark is the same way. She's a heterosexual white woman who has skills on the court, and people gravitate towards her and they want to see her. That's good for the business of basketball. But if you're going to push the LGBTQ culture, it just alienates as far as business. It just alienates heterosexual men and young heterosexual, women who want to see basketball. So as far as this pay us what you owe us, just let me know what you think in the comments anyway. Just want to impart a little bit of wisdom on you guys today. Go ahead on and like, share, subscribe to my channel. Leave in the comments in the comment section below. Your comments will be greatly appreciated. Like I always say, love you guys millions, and I'll talk to you later. Global.